Well, I am delighted to say that joining me on the Godcast today is Dene Michael. Now, Dene is a very famous chap. He was is part of the 80s supergroup Black Lace, famous for songs such as Agadoo, Superman, and the Conga. And Dene has been all over Europe with Black Lace. It sounds like a wonderful career, which we'll be hearing a bit more of in a moment. Dene, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Alex. I'm wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Whereabouts in the world are you? Where's home?
I live in the Yorkshire Dales. I live at a place called Thackley, and it's just near where the film Emmerdale, well, they used to film it. The wool pack you can see from my window.
Right. Are you a Yorkshire lad then, Dene, or are your roots elsewhere?
Well, I'm born and bred in Leeds. I was born in Leeds. We moved to Leicestershire when I was 8 years old. Then we emigrated to Australia in the 60s, late 60s. Lived in Australia for 2 or 3 years, came back, and then I moved to Spain. I've lived in just outside of Benidorm for 16 years. Moved to Las Vegas in America to do some gigs out there for a year out there, and then back to Spain, and then I'm back in the UK now. So I'm back in good old Yorkshire.
Wonderful. And how's COVID been for you as somebody who's an entertainer? Has it been deeply frustrating, Dene, or have you managed to do any shows over the last 18 months or so?
What's happened, Alex? I've done quite a few of the Zoom shows, on the internet, and things for charity. Macmillan Nurses, I've done a few things for them over the internet. This Zoom is absolutely wonderful because you can do concerts on there. You can, there's all sorts to keep in touch with your fans, and social media. Back in the 80s, when we were pushing out pineapples the first time, you didn't have any of this. But Alan always used to say, Alan Barton, my singing partner, unfortunately had a car accident and passed away. But Alan always used to say to me when we're traveling about, one day, said Dene, in the future, we'll be able to just phone it through. We won't have to go do these gigs. You could just, and he was right. He was right.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your first recollections of joining Black Lace, Dene? Just tell us a bit about how it all came about for you.
Okay. Well, Alan and I used to be in a band many, many years ago called Clandestine Roots. It was a 9-piece soul band. We used to do all the working men's clubs in the 70s. And our guitarist left. So he asked if I would ask Alan, because Alan was in between bands at the time, if he would join Clandestine Roots. So he said, I'd love to do. And he joined us for about 6 months. And then he went back on the road with a new band called The Vor Confusion. And then they developed into Black Lace around about 79. And they represented Great Britain in the Eurovision Song Contest in Jerusalem, and with a song called Mary Ann. So they became quite famous because they was representing the UK, and everything else. And so what happened was Alan and Colin was in the band originally, and then they split up and went into a 2-piece. As everybody knows, Black Lace now is a 2-piece duo. Mm. So Alan and Colin had a bit of a fallout, and they rang me up and said, Dene, will you join Black Lace? And it was like winning the lottery. I thought, my goodness. And I'd got Alan, you see, the previous few years before, saying, will you join our band? And then he's asked me to join them. And the rest is history, really. I've been with them since 1985. Yeah. All the time, backwards and forwards. And
Dene, you talked about it was like winning the lottery, but you were going, I guess you were quite a serious soul artist, were you? And you were moving to what effectively would be like novelty music. Was that a conundrum for you? Or was it pretty clear cut that you would do it?
Well, I'd always been with Alan and Colin, and we'd been friends for a long time and knew all their music anyway. But I used to be, as I say, it's been a soul band, and I was brought up on the soul music. And years afterwards, I did The Voice UK. I don't know if you know about that, but I did The Voice for the BBC. And I did a soul song. I went back to my roots. And Ricky Wilson said to me, he said, Dene, don't ever give up pushing your pineapples. Always keep the novelty songs. People always want them, So, yeah. And Rita Ora was there, Tom Jones and will.i.am. And they were all, Rita got up and she started doing pushing the pineapples. We had to sing Agadoo on there, of course. Yeah, it was good fun. It was, and it's just a fun band.
Yeah.
And we seem to have made a research recently with these Let's Rock the 80s festivals that we're all doing,
Yeah.
you know, from the 80s. It's wonderful.
Dean, just touching on Alan's passing, that must have been a pretty tough time. And did that leave the future of Black Lace uncertain, or were you always determined to carry on after he passed away?
Well, what happened, obviously, it was very sad when he did pass. And Alan and I were like brothers. So we you know, we traveled the world together. We went all over the place, working everywhere. And when Alan passed away, he was with a group called Smokey at the time, by the way, from the 70s. He'd left Black Lace. So Colin had come back in. So we had two original members still. It was quite clever what the management did, and put us both together. And then we toured, and we did all the Butlins, the Pontins, all the holiday centres. And we had a great time as well. And then Colin decided to go live in Tenerife, and I moved to Spain, as I said before. I lived in Spain. We sort of semi-retired, and still did gigs and things, you know. And then back in 1980, when would it be? 2009. Sorry, I'm going back. It's that long ago now. 2009, we had a bit of a research, and the BBC rang up and said, "Do you realise it's so long since Agadoo was out, and it's like the anniversary of it, and we'd like to put you on TV again and do some programmes with you." So Colin didn't really want to do that. He wanted to stay in Tenerife. So I got my singing partner then was Ian Robinson, who is a great singer. We worked in Benidorm together and that, and he came over, and we formed sort of a new Black Lace, if you like, and we did it for many years.
Yeah.
Did TV shows and adverts. We did the Gary Lineker advert with the Walker's Crisps. We did the EasyJet advert, because they wanted to. They were doing a new route to Agadir in Morocco, so you can imagine why they asked us to do it. So yeah. I mean, it's. I've carried it on. Various different members of the band, you know, and I'm now currently working with a guy called Craig Harper, who was in. He was on Britain's Got Talent, and he does like an impressions thing.
Right.
Great voice, great entertainer. So we've carried it on now, doing the festivals mainly.
Yeah. And if somebody said to you back in the 80s, Dean, that, you know, these two key songs, Agadoo and Superman, would still be legendary at parties everywhere. All my kids know them, all their kids will know them. Did you ever imagine that was going to create this huge legacy for you that would go on forever?
It's amazing how, like you say, your kids know them, you know. You go into all these holiday centres, wherever in the world. It's known in America with the summer camps over there. It's known in Europe, all over Europe. You go to Spain and they do the kids clubs, and whose songs do they play but Black Lace? You know, it's all there, so you can't get away from it, really.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it is incredible. And how is the summer looking for you, Dean? With such uncertainty, have you got dates that you now are pretty much set in stone are going to happen for you?
Yeah, up to now, we've had this next 4 weeks cancelled because of the COVID situation and the new variant and everything. So what's happened is they've delayed the concerts now, and we start the first one in Liverpool on the 31st of July, I believe it is. So around that time anyway, the end of July. And we start doing the Let's Rocks. And I think we've got 16 weeks then, fingers crossed, all being well, of doing the festivals all over the UK. We've got Jersey, the Isle of Wight, we're doing the festival there. We've got all the Let's Rocks, the Butlins Weekenders, the 80s Weekenders at Butlins and Pontins and all those. So it's looking good. It's looking good because it's been hard. It's been very, very hard not earning any money and, you know, been terrible.
Dean, tell us about these 80s festivals, because I'm an 80s kid and I've seen loads of bands individually, but I've not been to an 80s festival. I guess they're quite atmospheric, aren't they? I mean, you probably warm the audience up and get them all rocking, but is it got a real lovely family feel about it?
It has. When we travel around together, obviously, like I said, we're doing like 16 weeks. We've done this for the last 5 years now. We've been involved in that. Well, we couldn't do it last year, but we've been doing it for 5 years. So we've all got quite close, all the artists and all the performers and the crew and everybody, you know, and the people that look after us, the caterers and everything. We've all become like this one family because we all sit together around tables in the green room, if you like. And, you know, you get people like, there's Go West there, there's Spandau Ballet, there's Status Quo, there's Owen Paul, Hazel Dean, there's all the 80s acts were all there, ABC, OMD, we're all there together. And we've all just become great friends, you know,
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I am going to give it a go. I must give it a try. Dean, let me just ask you about you know, the lockdown situation and money. I was talking, I can't remember who it was. I was talking to somebody yesterday. There's this assumption that if you had a hit record, the mortgage is automatically paid for, and this and that, the other. That's not the reality, is it?
It's not.
You need the
It's
shows.
not. No.
You need the shows. How difficult has it been for you? You look like an extrovert there in that beautiful summery shirt. It must be quite tough.
It's very hard, really, when you're not earning money. Obviously, I got a little grant from the Musicians Union. They gave me a right at the beginning of it, but it wasn't much. I think it was £500. Well, that doesn't last long. And the savings soon go. You know, you do the odd things, charity and things like that. Obviously, I do quite a lot of charity work. And like I said before, for Macmillan Nurses and for the British Heart Foundation, I've done things for children's, you know, the children's charities and everything else. But I love to do charity work if I can, and that's all I've been doing really. So I've not been earning any money. And then there's what you have to do is ask the government then for a bit of help with the universal credit, you know, and all that. But that's not much either. It doesn't keep you going. So yeah.
I suppose I like to ask the questions people want asking. I suppose people will say, well, where's all the royalties go? But you don't own the royalties to those songs, is that right?
I own the royalties to I Am the Music Man because I wrote that one. I actually wrote the Music Man.
Is that right?
So I get
I
wrote that
one. Dean?
Yeah, our version of it, yeah. So I get so I get a little bit from that, but it's not a lot of money at all. But it just, you get it every 3 months, you know, from the PRS, Performing Rights Society, and the MCPS, which is the Mechanical Copyright Protection thing. So it's not much at all. I mean, in the days when you used to sell your vinyl records and your cassettes and things like that, and CDs, it was, you know, it was quite a good income. But now people can stream. You just go on Spotify or any of those, you know, iTunes, and you can stream the music. And I think we get about a penny for everyone that's streamed, you know. So it's not a lot at all. It's not a lot, you know.
No, but somebody's made a few quid out of those songs, haven't they?
Oh, they have, yeah. Yeah.
Do you actually?
So, but like you said,
do you know the writer?
No, I never met the writer of Agadoo. He was Italian, and he wrote another one was from Spain, the Saragossa band. They wrote Agadoo. The guy that wrote the Superman song was Italian. The Conga is an old classic song from many years ago, so I think it's just a remake of that. Then with the Music Man, I did our version of that one. I wrote that one. We've had Wigwam Bam, which the Sweet had. We did a version of that one. We Dance, that was another hit for us. So we've had many hit records. We've had 3 platinum albums, and we've had a few gold discs. I don't know if you can see them on the back wall there, but I've got a couple of discs up there.
Yeah, so pride of place. That's like getting an England cap, isn't it? It's just, yeah. And Dean, was this success? How far did it go? I know it was UK. I guess it went through Europe. Did it actually? You touched on America. Did the songs do well in America?
In the summer camps, they have in the 6 weeks holidays, all the kids go away to summer camps.
Yeah.
And we went out and we did a promotion with, I think it was Agadoo or Music Man or one of them. I actually went to do a reality show in America, in Louisville, in Kentucky. And I got the keys to the city, you know, for teaching the Americans how to do Agadoo. And it was on Sky Television. And they had me at Kentucky Derby. The Derby was on at the time I was there. And I had them all in Hawaiian shirts. They all had to buy Hawaiian shirts. They were all doing the Agadoo. So they actually gave me the keys to the city. Can you believe that? And they told me, they said, even Elton John didn't get the keys to the city when he came to play here.
Wow.
So I was honoured when I got that.
Sure,
you know.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a great story, isn't it? That's one to tell. I'm sure that's going in the book, is it?
It's in the book. It's all in there, you know.
Dean's got this book coming out there. You can see still pushing pineapples. And when's it actually available to buy, Dean?
It's out. It's released in November.
Yeah.
So that's all been released in November. I'm doing a book tour in November around the UK. I'm actually going out to Spain to do a tour of a book tour in Benidorm, a launch there for the Fiesta Week in November. So, and December, I'm going up to Scotland to do a little bit of promotion up there as well, because we've got quite a lot of Scottish fans.
Right.
And and obviously it'll be available from the publishers. And in Waterstones, I'm doing a tour of the Waterstones and the W.H. Smith's shops in the shopping centres, in all the different shopping centres around the UK.
Wonderful.
So watch out for me.
Dean, I don't want to drag this interview down too much, but I've got to touch on a couple of the more difficult things for you. And you did spend a little bit of time at Her Majesty's pleasure, didn't you?
I did, yes, back in 2014. It's all in the book, actually. I've written the full chapter on being in prison, and I should have been in there for 6 months, but only had to do 10 weeks. Because it was my first time ever. I'd not done anything wrong, and before, and I only had to do the 10 weeks, and then they let me come home. But the full story is in there. There's a bit of controversy about it because, without being awful, I was made an example of. To be honest, anybody else, if I hadn't been a celebrity, they'd have just got a slap on the wrist and say, "Don't do it again. Off you go." But the full story is in the book, so if anybody wants to hear about that,
we'll leave that as a cliffhanger. So if people want to know what happened there, but just what was your learning experience from that, Dean? Was it a really sobering time for you? Did it get you quite down? How did you kind of deal with that?
It's hard when you're locked away, because in a cell for like 11 hours a day, well, more than 11 hours because of the staffing situation. There's not enough staff to look after everybody. The educational side of things, you could either work or you could go to education, which I did. Because with living in Spain, I speak Spanish. So what happened was quite a few of the people in there were Spanish. There was a few that spoke Spanish from Mexico and different places. So they had me mentoring them in the prison, and I did prison work for them. I was like a teacher, mentoring them, doing what do they call it, interpreting for them as well. So which I quite not enjoyed, but I felt as though I was there for a reason. And I think there's always a reason for things happening through your life. That these things do happen because you can help other people. Which I believe that's what I did, and that's why I ended up in there.
Did it soon get round that the guy from Black Lace was in?
Oh, it was on the news and everything. Because when I had to go to court, all the news cameras were there, the press were there. They chased me down the street with these cameras and everything. So it was all on the news, and they all have in the cells. All the prisoners have televisions in the cells, so they'd seen it all on the news. They knew I was going in there, and it was like, they used to call me Aga, sing us a song, or Aga, do this. And when they're all on the phones to the families and the wives and the girlfriends and everything, you used to have to pass there to get your medication. So they used to say, Aga, and I used to go over, what do you want? What do you want? Sing so-and-so, because sing Agadoo, because my girlfriend's on the phone to her. And I said, what's the name? And then you get little pieces of paper come under the cell door saying, please sign this to so-and-so. So I became quite, but I never had a problem. Never had a problem in there. Nobody bothered me. They were all friendly with me. In fact, the last day I've been in there, they arranged in the exercise yard, they arranged a conga line for me to, with all the prison guards and everybody, to conga around the, the exercise yard to say, don't come back again.
Oh, so I've got this image of you now, dude. That must have been surreal. That was.
Oh, it was unbelievable. But yeah, no. So it was an experience, as I say. But you do see a lot of awful things in there that happen as well. But as I say, a lot of it, I've done a full chapter in there in the book. So if anybody wants, to get the full story, it's all in there.
Yeah, and when you came out, Dean, what was that like for you? Did you find that the phone rang more, or the phone went quiet? What was the general approach?
I suffered from anxiety and depression, to be honest, because when you're locked up for such a long time in a room, when you get home and you're free and everything, it's like you don't go outside. It's like, what am I doing? And you're up and down all the time, exercising, because that's all the exercise. And my ex-wife used to say to me, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm just having a walk around. Why don't you go, other places and what? And then find yourself just getting up, walking around. And she couldn't understand why. And it's just something in your mind mentally that it affects you. That when you it's like a dog. When you lock a dog up in a kennel, it's the same thing, and you let the dog out and it's like, wow, but it's an experience, believe it or not. It's, coming out there and actually doing, after you've been in there for 10 weeks, it's like, and then you get the thing, because I was on the television and everything and people knew who I am, you don't want to go out because you don't want to get people shouting back at you, it's a rogue or whatever, and I'm not really a rogue. I'm just a genuine guy, that unfortunately, because of my celebrity status, I had to do the time,
Yeah.
But yes, it was very hard. But I had good people around me and good management, and they got me through it. And and then Let's Rock got in touch with me and said, come on, do the festivals. Let's get you back on track again. And I've been touch wood. I've been very, very fortunate.
Yeah. And are you a spiritual guy, Dean? Have you got a faith about you?
I have, yes, I have. I believe in God, and I've done a song. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to it, called "The Life Force." Yeah,
yes.
And I have a lot of friends that we do a lot for the church. My studio producer, he's in the church and everything, and we do Christian songs, and we write and we write country and western songs. We do all different styles, but. Paul Jackson is a wonderful guy, and we feel as though that we've got a presence there when we're writing and recording, and getting help from above,
Yeah.
And I lost my father, and a couple of years ago now, 3 years ago, and I always speak to my dad. I always go to his grave and talk to him and pray for him, and pray for him looking after us and looking down on us and keeping us all safe. And I get little signs from him, little messages from him now here and there. So he always used to say, before he died, if you ever see a white feather on you when I've gone and everything, and there's one comes down, it's me. And I went, funny enough, I often get a white feather come down,
Yeah. There was a thing on telly with Joan Collins recently who said she saw a sister in a fly or something.
Yeah,
lots of stories like this. And that song, Life Force, how did that come about? Did somebody write that for you, or?
Yes, it was a man in America who sadly he's passed away now as well. But he wrote the song. He wrote a few Christian songs and sent them across to me and said, "Would I record them in England?" He had hits with them in America for your, the people in England and the UK. So I went in there, recorded them all, and. We put them on YouTube and everything. They're all up there. And so, yeah, I loved it. And I made a video in our local church in Barrow-in-Helmet. And that was wonderful. I had all the help of the church there. They let us go in with the cameras and film it all. And it came out lovely.
Yeah, lovely. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it, anyone. It is an incredibly beautiful white suit that Dean is wearing in that video. It's fabulous. Your wardrobe is incredible. Dean, I just want to ask you about.
Well, I was going to put my bumblebee out. I was going to say I was going to put my bumblebee outfit on, but I thought no, I won't bother.
Well,
I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
So, Dean, how important? Obviously, music is really important for you. How important is it for you to have a musical outlet away from Black Lace? You know, do you like getting back to your soulful roots? And I was talking to Jonathan Antoine, the opera, who's got an incredible voice, but he told me that he secretly was a huge fan of heavy metal, and occasionally he'd record for his own pleasure, you know, some serious heavy metal stuff. Do you like to get back to that, to what where your real roots are?
I love the old country rock stuff, you know, the Eagles type songs. I love all that.
Yeah.
Love Steely Dan. They're fantastic. All the old school bands, you know. I like any kind of music, really. I like opera. I like country, soul, because I was brought up on soul music. Love the soul music. Any genre, really. Obviously, the party stuff's my thing. So, you know, I've just been sent a song today, another one from America, a party song. So I'm going to have a listen to that when I've finished doing this interview and see what that's all about, you know. So something to do with Michael Jackson's producers.
All
so
right, okay.
We'll see what that's like.
Yeah. Do you actually perform as a solo artist, Dean? Do you do shows where, you know, you'll...
I do, yes. I do some solo shows, and I've done them all through my career, really, on and off, you know, with different bands, being solo, then with another band, then solo, then duo, and then and then when I lived in Spain, Alex, I used to I started off a Take That tribute band, which we did in Benidorm, and that was very successful, and that's still going to this day. That's before I left Benidorm in 2008.
Were you in it, Dean? Were you
yes, I was. Yes, yeah.
Who were you?
I was Gary Barlow. Well, Barry Garlow. Barry Garlow, man.
I love it. I love it. I'm a huge Gary Barlow fan. I mean, if you've got any context, Dean, you can get Gary Barlow on here. I think he's such a talented singer. Barry Garlow.
He is. He's fantastic. Barry Garlow.
Yeah, yeah.
Gary used to back us many, many years ago in the Willows in Manchester. He used to be resident there when he was about 15 years old. And he used to back all the acts that used to go in there, you know. So, but I've not seen him for years. You know, I've obviously seen him at concerts and things and on the TV, but I've not met him personally since those days. So it'd be nice to meet up with him.
He does these, he's been doing these lockdown sing-along, hasn't he? I think we need to start something trending on Twitter that Gary Barlow comes on and does Superman with Dene Michael.
Agadoo. Yeah, yeah. That'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be great.
Yeah. Has anybody ever asked you, Dean, what's the meaning behind the song Agadoo?
Right. Do you want to really know? It's the true. You want to the true meaningful meaning of Agadoo?
Yeah.
Well, it's a protest song, really.
Right.
It's a protest song. It's about being cruel to fruit. Pushing pineapples and shaking trees. I'm only joking again. No, we had to answer that once on the Old Grey Whistle test. They asked the same question, and for fun, we just made it up. We just said, it's about being cruel for fruit with fruit. It's a protest song.
Well, I was believing you for a minute, and then I thought he's having a laugh here. He's having a laugh.
I'm known for a bit of a comedian, you know.
Yeah, well, you've got a great personality, Dean, and you've got your own radio show going on. Tell us about your radio show.
I have. I'm on True Radio, and that's the home of proper good music and proper good interviews, because we do interviews on a Sunday, which is my show, between 7 and 10 o'clock. And I have celebs from the 80s. I have people, well, not just 80s, 90s. I have different people on. usually celebrities. And this week I've got John Parr on, which is great, you know, from St Elmo's Fire with his big hit record.
Fabulous.
And I've got like Cheryl Baker on there. There's all the 80s acts that I know, my friends, you know, I could do all them. So it's nice that they all come on and be part of it, you know. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
and it's growing and growing. It's each week I'm getting more listeners, and I'm loving it. I love, because I used to present many years ago for Minster FM in York. I used to do a show for them on the weekend, Dene Michael's Saturday Night Party. But I love presenting. I love presenting, and I love doing the interviews with everybody. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm guessing your celebrity phone book's quite extensive, Dean, because when I was talking to you before, I was saying, well, I've had Rick Witter on. Yeah, I know him. And then I said, oh, and I've got Kenny Thomas going on. Yeah. Oh, I know Kenny Thomas. Yeah.
It is. It's quite unbelievable, really, when you look how many people I've had on my program over the. So I've been with True Radio for a year now. This is the end of the first year, and over the year, when you look back, who I've had on, you know, every week it's somebody different, and it's amazing, really, like you say, and even in the book, I've got a book here at the back. We've got all the photographs of all the.
You got a book out, Dean? You got a book out?
Yeah, I've got one coming out in November. It's the true story of the legendary Dene Michael, still pushing pineapples. But yeah, it's all in the book there. There's all the pictures of all the celebs and everything, and all of us at Let's Rock. And there's some wonderful things in there, you know, great stories, all true stories, warts and all, as I say, you know. So it's the whole lot, you know, everything.
Fabulous. Well, Dean, do you know what? I've really enjoyed talking to you. You're a lovely guy, and I'm delighted that your career's been as colourful and interesting and flamboyant as you are. And I just wish you well. And you should check out the Godcast, because we've had some brilliant guests on, and you are now part of that wonderful community. So thanks ever so much, Dean, for coming on. I do appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. We'll have to swap some guests over, won't we? We'll swap some over, and you can have some of my guests, and I'll have some of yours.
That might work better for me. I'm not sure. I'm not sure you want a bishop on, but you know.
No, it'd be wonderful. It'd be wonderful.
Well, the Archbishop of York's not far away from you, and he is a very, very nice chap. So
yeah.
Right, Dean. Thanks ever so much.
Thanks, Alex.
Can I say that I've sung with Dene Michael? Can we do a bit?
Are we ready? Are you ready?
You sing.
Agadoo, do, push pineapple, shake a tree. Agadoo, do, push pineapple, grind coffee. To the left, to the right, jump up and down to the knees. Come and dance every night. Sing with a hula melody. Yay!
Thanks, Dean.
Thanks, Alex.
God bless.
Bye. God bless you.